fantasy football guru himself, the one and only Matthew Berry.
You've got a good team, I promise you.
You got me into fantasy football. I'm in a league with the great one himself.
Put you in the fire. Come on, you're Stephen A. You don't back down from anyone.
I'm an absolute novice. I've never done this in my life. I'm here with fantasy football expert, the one and only Matthew Berry. But I have to be honest, Matthew, I just called you a fantasy expert. But in the celebrity league we're in together, my team actually has more points than your team on the season, but my team is 1-4, and your team is 4-1. Now, how is that possible? How is that possible?
I'm a fantasy expert. You're not. There you go. Bingo, bango. You've scored 2 more points than me, but it's about where you score those points, when you score those points, looking at your matchups. Yeah, it's a little bit and also, by the way, there's a little bit of luck involved. Like, you've had some bad luck with some matchups. I've had some good luck with matchups. You and I are both among the higher scoring teams in this league, though. It's not that you have a bad team or that I have a bad team. We both have good teams. You've just had some really bad luck. As you see here, what happened to you last week against Sonny Hostin, the co-analyst on The View. I mean, you had Lamar Jackson, but then she gets Mark Andrews and Jonathan Taylor. She got monster games on Monday night. Of course, Devontae Adams as well. Like, you had a good team, but she got crazy games from Andrews and Taylor, and it happens. That's fantasy football for you. Adam Thielen didn't show up for you, and you also had bad luck with Saquon Barkley leaving early with the injury, of course.
I tell you this, Matthew Berry. I just thought about something. You realize what you've done to me, right? Because I love you, man. I mean, I've known you for years, and I love you to death. And I'm looking at that smile on your face at my demise, and I'm thinking about me being talked about on The View. They're talking about me on The View, okay?
Yes.
In a very, very bad way because I'm losing fantasy. You know what? I'm going to move on. But, Matthew, you and I are going to have a conversation about this in the weeks to come.
Fair.
I'll tell you that. All right. This is the
I will
first
take what's
week
coming to me.
Yeah, you do that. This is the first week of the season with bye weeks. How do you tell fantasy managers to prepare for bye weeks?
Yeah, look, it depends on obviously what your roster construction looks like and what you need. But one of the things you want to do is obviously you don't want to drop anyone good, but look at not only what you need this week, but next week we have 6 teams on a bye. And it's some of the best teams in the NFL. It's teams like Buffalo. It's teams like the Packers, the Vikings, etc. Teams that are really good fantasy-wise. And so I like looking before there's a rush to the waiver wire. Look this week to what you need in the future so you can prepare. But the most important thing is, like, everyone is going to be weak at some point over the bye weeks. So just making sure that you have the best possible lineup you have for 1 week. But understand it's just 1 week. Got a long season. Don't make a massive move that will hurt you in the long term just for 1 week.
All right. Saquon Barkley, one of my running backs, is likely out this week with an ankle injury, as you brought up earlier. And Chiefs running back Clyde Edwards-Helaire is definitely out. He's on the IR. Are there replacements worth starting in fantasy this week?
Very much so, Stephen A. So let's start with Barkley's replacement, Devontae Booker. Really good player, played 88% of the snaps after he came in for Booker last week. He scored 2 touchdowns. He got 4 goal-to-go carries. He's had 20 points or more in 2 of the 3 games in which he's got 15 or more touches. When he gets work, he's productive. Kenny Golladay banged up. The rest of the receiving core also banged up here. So Booker, who's using the passing game quite a bit, is a true 3-down back. He's going to get a ton of work against the Rams. And then you think about Darrell Williams. It's a great matchup for him. I actually think he's going to be better fantasy-wise than CEH was because he's using the passing game as much as Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Washington, by the way, has given up the most receiving touchdowns to opposing running backs in the NFL this year. But he's also somebody that they trust more in short yardage situations, goal-to-go situations. They trust him more between the tackles. He's a top 15 play for me this week against a Washington defense that is, to be kind, struggling.
Let's move on, Matthew. This week I'm taking on John Legend. He got off to a slow start last night, with Tom Brady actually scoring below his projection, but he's got 2 superstar rookies on his team, Najee Harris and Jamar Chase. Tell me this is the week these 2 cool off, and I actually get a win because I can't have John Legend writing a song about beating me in fantasy football. That can't happen, Matthew.
Well, here's the positive. As somebody who's played in a lot of leagues with John Legend, he's a really good player. My guess is that you will not be the subject of a song. I never want to, say what John Legend would or would not write in a song, but I'm guessing he's got other topics. Having said that, you might be in for a long day. I like both these guys quite a bit this week. Najee Harris gets Seattle. They've allowed the 3rd most fantasy points to opposing running backs, the 2nd most rushing yards. His volume is massive. Najee Harris, I have as a top 2 play at the running back position this week. And then you think about Jamar Chase, who's running away literally with the Offensive Rookie of the Year award. He's been nothing short of fantastic. He leads the NFL in terms of deep touchdown passes. Well, no team gives up more yards per completion than the Detroit Lions. They're giving up over 16 yards per completion. That's another way of saying, hey, you can throw deep on the Lions. When the Bengals throw deep, they're throwing to Jamar Chase. I wish you the best of luck, Stephen A., but I don't want to lie to you, my friend. I like both these players quite a bit this week. You've had bad schedule luck. There's no question.
You know what, Matthew? I'm gonna end this. You and I are gonna have a. Oh my God! I can't believe that you're putting me through this, but it's all right. I'm gonna recover. I'm gonna end. I'm telling you, I might have a rough week this week, but after this, I'm telling you, I'm gonna be on the case, and I'm gonna make sure that I resurrect my franchise. I'm gonna do that right now. All right, Matthew? I promise you that.
I have no doubt. People that bet against Stephen A. lose. That much I know.
All right. For a full fantasy preview of Week 6, including all of Matthew's Love Hates, check out the latest episode of The Fantasy Show right here on ESPN Plus, streaming now. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.